placed in external magnetic field. Any doubt here? What was the formula for torque? This is the torque here. Because of this torque, it is called deflecting torque because it gives you deflection in the coil. So it is called deflecting torque. Deflecting torque. It was given by mv sin alpha, where m was NIA, b sin alpha. N is the number of turns, A is the area, B is the magnetic field external, and alpha is the angle between the magnetic field and normal to the plane of the coil, and I is the current flowing through the coil. Let us discuss here moving coil galvanometer. Moving coil galvanometer. In this galvanometer, it is a very, very sensitive device. It is a very sensitive device, moving coil galvanometer. So, in this coil is moving. In the galvanometer, coil is moving. Say, suppose we are having, this is the magnetic field, North Pole, South Pole, and we have taken here rectangular coil of so many turns, and the end here, one end is this, other end is this. It is say hanged here with the suspension point, and say here with the wire, say terminal T1 through which current is flowing in the coil, passing through this hanging wire, suspension, and this is the spiral type spring, and this is the other end, say T2. Say here, what is this? In this circuit, suppose we assume this is the circuit here. Let us say this is the circuit here. If we close the key, what will happen? Current will flow. And here, this is the galvanometer. If you place it here, it will measure the current because current is flowing through this circuit and definitely passing through this meter, which is this galvanometer, sensitive galvanometer. So current is flowing, torque develops here. The torque develops here because of torque it rotates. And suppose we connect here this pointer, very light pointer of aluminum on this scale. If current is flowing, it rotates, and this needle will, aluminum pointer needle will deflect. So deflection is directly proportional to current here. So this is the arrangement. Actually, this is the galvanometer. We say here ammeter, but there is difference between ammeter, voltmeter, and galvanometer. Basically, it is galvanometer. We can convert galvanometer into ammeter and voltmeter later on. We'll discuss. But this was this meter galvanometer. It is very, very sensitive. Normally, it is measuring microampere current. So suppose current is flowing through this coil, rectangular coil, passing through this suspension wire, and in this coil, force is acting on this and this, making a torque. Because of this torque, it deflects, and by the deflection, we can measure the current. Simple. So this is the arrangement. Now, what is the principle of this galvanometer? Definitely, principle is here. Whenever current is flowing through this coil, placed in between the magnetic field, torque develops. It gives you deflection. Got it? What was the principle? Principle is whenever current, just write down, whenever current is flowing through the coil placed in external magnetic field, torque develops. Because of this, it rotates. This way we can measure the current flowing through this meter. Okay. Now, let us discuss here. This is the wire, suspension wire, and this is the spring, spiral type spring. Suppose it deflects, a different torque acts because of this spiral spring and this wire. Okay. Sorry, interruption for say 2-3 minutes. Sorry for that. Okay. So here, this was the moving coil galvanometer, and deflecting torque act whenever current is flowing through this coil placed in external magnetic field. Now, as it rotates, a different torque acts on it. That is called restoring torque. What is restoring torque? It develops because of, say, suppose this coil rotates. Here, this wire twists, rotates, twists. So, tension develops in this wire, as well as because of this rotation, energy stored in this spiral spring. Suppose, let us say, if you open the circuit and current will become zero, in that case, what will happen? Deflecting torque will become zero because of this current. But restoring torque acts on it. Whatever energy is stored in this wire as well as in the spring, because of this, it will come to the original position. Got it? What is restoring torque? I am pronouncing it as restoring torque. Restoring means as you remove this current, because of this restoring torque, because of the twisting, it comes back to the original condition, that comes to zero position again. So you can say deflecting torque and the restoring torque both are just in opposite direction. Suppose in the circuit, if you close the key, because of this current, deflecting torque acts on it. Because of deflecting torque, this pointer rotates, as well as restoring torque develops in the equilibrium position. In the final position, these two torques are equal and opposite. And that this is the final position of the pointer, and this is the current actually flowing in the circuit we can measure. So you can say in equilibrium condition, both the torques are equal and opposite. And this is the torque here, say restoring torque just equal to the deflecting torque. Deflecting torque here is N I-A-B sin alpha. I am writing here I and alpha like this. because these two are variable quantities here, and restricting torque is K and theta. Here K is called torsional constant. K is called torsional constant, and theta is the deflection in the needle. Here N is the number of turns in the coil, A is the area of cross section, length into breadth of the coil, B is the external magnetic field, I is actually current flowing through the circuit, and alpha, you know, the angle between the normal and the magnetic field. Any doubt up to this? In the equilibrium condition, when it gets the final position near the pointer, this is the deflecting torque and this is the restraining torque. Both are in, suppose deflecting torque in clockwise direction, restraining torque must act in the anti-clockwise direction. Suppose we are talking about, say, galvanometer. It is centrally zero, so it can deflect both sides. Suppose deflection in one direction, this restraining torque acts in anti-clockwise direction. Because if we change the polarity of current, then what will happen? Deflection comes in the, say, left hand side or anti-clock, then restraining torque will be clockwise. So in other words, we can say always restraining torque and the deflecting torques are in the opposite direction. In equilibrium condition, restraining torque and the deflecting torques are just equal and opposite. They are the final position, we can measure the current. Now suppose what is theta is the deflection is given by NAB upon K, and here I and sin alpha. Let us say this is the equation 1. You can say this deflection depends on two variables, I, current, and alpha. As suppose you rotate, let us discuss this. Suppose this is the coil here and this is the normal here. Suppose coil rotates, then normal also rotates. It means theta angle is rotates. Because of this rotation, normal is also rotating. So you can say alpha is a variable quantity. And current is also. Because we do not know current, what amount of current is flowing the circuit. It means here I and alpha both are variable. But question arises, suppose we are talking about the scale, if the deflection depends on more than one quantity, this scale cannot be a uniform scale. Now, this scale is non-uniform. To make it uniform, we must do something so that this deflection depends only on one quantity, that is current, because we are here to measure the current only. We are interested to measure the current only. So it means it does not depend on this alpha. But this is a fact, hard fact. If this coil is rotating, normal is also rotating. Despite rotation, how can you say this alpha is a constant quantity? Definitely it is not. So what we are doing, just to make this alpha constant always for any position, any rotation, it is possible by doing this, a very special case, and that is called, say, radial magnetic field, or in short, radial field. Radial magnetic field. What is this? Here alpha is always 90 degree, and sin alpha means sin 90 is 1. So despite rotation, alpha is always 90 degree, 1. It means here now N is the number of turns, A is the area of cross section, B is the magnetic field, K is the torsional constant of this suspension wire. We'll discuss the properties of this suspension wire also. But these four things are in bracket constant. Now we have made, by making the radial field, alpha is always 90 degrees, sin alpha is always one constant. That is why then after that theta is directly proportional to I, and now we are getting the uniformity. But again, this question was valid. Despite rotation, how alpha is 90 always and sin alpha is always one constant quantity. We can make it. This is called special arrangement. Is called radial fade. We can make it like by using is the normal, not normal magnet, but horseshoe magnet. Horseshoe magnet. And second, by using soft iron ore. We know this is very good material, soft iron material. The permeability is very large, susceptibility is very large. So it concentrates the lines of force. That is why magnetic field increases here. So here, first thing we are taking the soft iron core here. Inside the coil, soft iron core. Soft iron core. The permeability is very large, susceptibility is very large, so lines of force are concentrating. At the same time, magnet should be like this. Horseshoe magnet means the shape of the magnet is like a horseshoe. So here you can say like this. Here the shape of the magnet is like the horseshoe. So what will happen? We know the lines of force are exiting out from the north pole and terminate to the south pole. So lines of force like this. Lines of force are coming out from the north pole and terminate to the south pole. What is the benefit of this? Simple. If suppose I am taking this coil like this and say this is the normal, in this position the magnetic field is from the north to south pole, and this is the normal. Definitely plane is making 0 degree and the normal, and the magnetic field angle is 90 degree. Suppose it rotates, then magnetic field is not this but this, not to south pole. Normal, it is making 90 degree with magnetic field. So here also, and here also, not to south pole. Like so, with this arrangement here, we can say alpha is 90 degree for all positions of the coil. It is possible if we take the horseshoe magnet rather than a normal magnet. At the same time, we are using the soft iron core, and on soft iron core, practically the coils, the wire, copper wire insulated, this is wrapped over it. So lines of force are concentrated at the same time, and because of this shape, yes, it is possible. Now for any position, alpha angle is 90 degree, sin alpha is 1. So we have got the solution. Now this theta deflection depends only on current, not on alpha. Coil is rotating, still we are getting the alpha constant 90 degree always in at any position, at any rotation, for any rotation, always 90. We can do it by using these two things, soft iron core and horseshoe magnet. This particular field is called, a very special name is given, radial magnetic field, in the direction of radius, you can say. So magnetic field is also rotating. In the previous case, only coil was rotating, magnetic field is fixed direction, but not here. Got it? So both are rotating, magnetic field as well the coil, both are rotating, and because of this alpha is 90 degree always, and this is called radial magnetic. So this is very important part. Any doubt here? Please tell me. What is radial magnetic field? Why it is required to get the uniform scale? Okay, theta is directly proportional to current only. Okay. Now here we were discussing the suspension wire. This is not the ordinary wire. The properties of this suspension wire we must note. You have noted down this one?
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
सर ये यूनिफॉर्म क्यों करते हैं अपन मूविंग कॉइल गैल्वेनोमीटर को?
यूनिफॉर्म स्केल सपोज
सर यूनिफॉर्म क्यों करते हैं अपन इसको?
स्केल ना, यूनिफॉर्म स्केल यूनिफॉर्म स्केल क्यों करते हैं? यस ना?
यस सर.
ओके, सपोज यू आर मेजरिंग एनीथिंग. Suppose you are having very simple case. I'm taking this is the scale, maybe 6 inch or 1 feet. The division might be equal. Otherwise, can you measure any distance accurately? No. So we can measure their current, but definitely not accurate one, because it depends on sin theta. Theta and sin theta, these are not same. Because it is varying from 0 degree to 90 degree angle, then sin alpha is varying from 0 to 1, and it is not uniform. That is why we are not getting the uniform scale. At the same time, if dependency of anything on more than one, then what will happen? Can you see you are getting the uniform thing? Suppose you are getting, say, help from so many persons. For one subject, suppose for so many persons, is it feasible? You just think. I'm not taking the correct example, but if we are depending on so many things at the same time, mind it, at the same time, we will not get uniform thing. Got it, no? You are say taking class of physics. You are viewing, say, from movie also. You are talking to someone with your, say, family members.
So you are.
To measure the current accurately, we have to eliminate this sin alpha. We have to eliminate sin alpha. Okay, so theta is directly proportional to current. If it is directly proportional to current, 0. Suppose we are measuring this meter here is 0 to 30 division. Let us say 0 to 30 milliampere. One division will be 1 milliampere. Two division will be 2 milliampere. 2.5 division means 2.5 milliampere. Like it is non-uniform. Really, it is not possible to make the so the currents accurately. I think you got the answer. So now, what is the importance of this suspension wire? It is very, very important part. I'm rubbing this because today I have you say this webcam. So this portion is limited here, although very clear. I think it is clear from yesterday. Far clear. So this word is now very clear now. Okay. So I'm just rubbing this one. What is the importance of this wire? It is called the suspension wire. The name of this wire is, say, phosphor bronze strip. Phosphor bronze strip. This is very special, this wire. First of all, the coil with the soft iron core is hanging on this wire. At the same time, it should be very strong. First, because all the weight of this coil as well as soft iron core, it depends only on this wire, because this hand here. So no problem. It can be, you can take any wire which is very strong mechanically, but at the same time, it rotates also. If you are taking very thick wire, it will not rotate. It means the necessary condition here is this wire must be very thin and very strong. So the properties of this wire is very thin wire, very thin and very strong wire. Very thin and very strong. At the same time, current is flowing and very small current is flowing of the order of microampere. It means it should be conducting also. It should be conducting also. This wire might be very conducting also. Rustless. 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 Very thin, very strong, conducting wire, rustless. More important here, the deflection, the twist, initial twist must not be there. Otherwise, it will give you a wrong reading. No initial twist. No initial twist. Means whenever current is zero, there must not be any twist here. Very important part here. Very important property here. The deflection is directly proportional to current. The twist here is directly proportional to current. Got it? So here this is directly proportional to, rather you can say this, the restoring torque is directly proportional to the angular twist. This is very important part. That is why this is not the ordinary wire. Initially, we or say our ancestors using here the horse hair. Horse hair is so strong, you cannot break it. It is conducting also and very thin also. But now a better alloy we are using, that is phosphor bronze steel. These are the conditions must be hold. These are the properties here. It should be, it must. Got it? At the same time, for the restoring torque, this spring is spiral type spring is also helping. Okay. So this is say, yes.
So what is the meaning of initial twist?
Initial twist means, suppose initially when there is no current, there is no twist like this. If there is twist, maybe it is supporting, so it will give you some deflection. In the opposite direction, it will give you some current is lost here to make it normal condition, and then it will. So there is, you can say, error will be there. Some error will be there. Got it now? Suppose at the same time, you can say, suppose you are starting a bike and it is moving also. Is it say feasible? Got it now? And you are giving the race like this, and it is not moving. It is moving a little bit in opposite direction. That is why here also, initially there must not be any twist. It is very necessary to measure the correct current. A deflection is just directly proportional to current. If current is zero, it should be at zero condition. Got it? Now, this is all about say moving coil galvanometer. Any doubt? Please discuss. Otherwise, we'll discuss this sensitivity, current sensitivity, and voltage sensitivity. You have noted down this property. Sometime in one mark question it comes. What is the property of phosphor bronze steel, or why this radial field is required here, and what is radial field? This way, these questions come. Whenever this question comes in say detailed 3 marks question, you must note, you must write say radial field also and the properties of this phosphor bronze steel also. These two things are very important. Yes, yes, please.
तो सर phosphorus bronze strip हमारे physics lab में भी है क्या?
This galvanometer is there, the integral part. Definitely, 1000% true. In all the galvanometer, it is the integral part. This and this must be there. Coil must be there. Magnet must be there. Okay. If galvanometer there, this all thing, everything must be there inside. Okay. You cannot see it because it is an integral part, inside part. But galvanometer you can see. Definitely galvanometers are there. So many galvanometers are there in our school also. No problem. Now, say I have written this theta is directly proportional to I. So what is this? We have eliminated this factor sin alpha. Theta is equal to NAB upon A and I. I'm taking here I here. So this is called current sensitivity. It's called current sensitivity. Current sensitivity. So definition of current sensitivity means what? If you give a very small amount of current, deflection is large enough, you can say it is very sensitive. Got it now? Sensitivity means if anybody is saying something, say your parents पढ़ नहीं रहे हो, and you are annoyed, नहीं? It means you are very sensitive. या फिर बहुत अच्छे से मिले, इतना सा बोला आप बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ाई कर रहे हो, like you are very sensitive. You are not sensitive, इतना ही बोलते रहे, कोई फर्क नहीं, इधर से सुना उधर से निकाल दिया, like means you are not sensitive. Here it is very important part. We are measuring the very small amount of current, microampere current. It means suppose if current is very small, even then deflection is large. Current sensitivity is large. So what is current sensitivity? If we define the current sensitivity, deflection per unit current. Deflection per unit current is called current sensitivity. But this definition is not very correct. Reason behind here, because current is not 1 ampere, current is very small. Got it now? But we define this is 1 means what? 1 ampere. It is very large current. So current sensitivity means the deflection per unit current. Here current should be very small and deflection should be large. Now you can say by this formula how you can increase the current sensitivity. Current sensitivity can be increased by increasing the numerator part like NAB and decreasing the K, torsional content. We have taken the best material alloy. So cage, we can't do anything. We have already taken the best one. Now if we increase the strong magnet field, definitely current sensitivity increases, but its cost is also increasing. While we are taking the very strong magnet, definitely here cost comes. If we are, but we can increase the current sensitivity, no doubt. Practically we are not taking very strong magnet. But if you take the area of cross section larger, size of this galvanometer also large, again cost comes. So here we can change A, B and K, but not much. Got it? Because of this area, because the availability of that material and the cost also. But N is very important part. And is the number of turns, very thin wire insulated, you can drop 100 watt, you can drop 200 watt, you can drop 500 watts like. So this way, by increasing the N number of turns, practically we are increasing the number of turns to increase the current sensitivity. Although we can increase the current sensitivity by increasing the area, by increasing the magnetic field, by decreasing K. But there are limitations. But number of turns we can increase easily, and we can increase the current sensitivity. At the same time now, second is voltage sensitivity. Voltage sensitivity. Here V is equal to what? Theta upon V. Now NAB upon KR. Here R is the resistance of coil of the galvanometer. What is capital R? It is the resistance of the coil of galvanometer. Again, we can define the deflection per unit volts. If voltage difference is very large, deflection is large again. Here also we can increase the voltage sensitivity by increasing NAB and by decreasing K and by decreasing R also. So this is something about the current sensitivity and voltage sensitivity. We can increase both by increasing the numerator parts like NAB and by decreasing the K and KR in voltage sensitivity. You can see by formula itself, no problem. The question arises now, if we increase the current sensitivity, is it necessary to increase the voltage sensitivity also? Is it possible we are increasing the current sensitivity by increasing the number of turns, but there is no change in the voltage sensitivity? Is it possible? Our voltage sensitivity is not increasing. Although we are increasing N, but here R also, resistance of coil. If suppose number of turns are double, instead of 100 we are taking 200. So length of this wire is also increasing. It means resistance is also increasing. It means here the effect of N is eliminated by the effect of R. So we can say by increasing the current sensitivity, voltage sensitivity may increase or may not increase. Depends on how we are increasing the current sensitivity. Because we have to see that this factor resistance of the coil. If the number of turns double, resistance is also double, we can say this cancel out. So current sensitivity increases, but voltage sensitivity is not increases. Got it now? Because it depends on R, resistance of the coil also. But suppose you are increasing the area or B or K decreasing, then definitely both are increasing or both are decreasing. But we have to take care of this resistance factor also. This comes normally because it is confusing question. Got it now? Now very important part here. We can convert this sensitive galvanometer because it is measuring only microampere current. Suppose we are interested to measure the 1 ampere current. How many times? 1 ampere and 10 to the power minus 6 microampere means 10 to the power 6 times. 10 to the power 6 times. Suppose we are measuring from the same galvanometer 10 ampere current, 10 to the power 7 times, 1 crore times. So we can measure, we can convert this galvanometer sensitive to voltmeter and ammeter. Here I'm taking the example so that you can easily understand what is the meaning of this. How can you convert this galvanometer, because there is no ammeter, there is no voltmeter. We are simply converting this sensitive galvanometer into ammeter just to measure the large amount of current and just to measure the large amount of voltage with the same galvanometer by doing some arrangements. Got it now? What will happen if we are not doing this arrangement? What will happen? Suppose it is measuring the 1 microampere and we are giving you 1 ampere current. 10 to the power 6 times. आप 1 ब्रेड ले रहे हैं, उसकी जगह 10 to the power 6 ब्रेड कितने पूरी जिंदगी में नहीं खा सकते. लाइक डायरेक्टली देंगे तो थिंकिंग से ही आदमी की डेथ हो जाएगी. सिमिलरली इसकी भी डेथ हो गई. If we are giving here 10 ampere current, 1 ampere current instead of microampere current, immediately it will burn out. And if we are measuring it, we have to measure the current. 10 ampere, even 100 ampere, 200 ampere, 1000 ampere. And there is no meter like ampere meter or voltmeter. Meter is this only. It means we have to convert the same galvanometer into desired range of ampere meter and desired range of voltmeter by doing some arrangement. So next topic here is conversion of galvanometer into ammeter and voltmeter. Should I rub it? Okay, I'll let you note it down. Now, moving coil galvanometer converting into ammeter and voltmeter, because this is our requirement here. We are interested to measure not only the microampere current but practically amperes currents. How can you do it? Let us discuss one by one. First here is conversion of galvanometer into ammeter or ampere meter. First, conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. First, let us say ammeter. Here, let us discuss. This is our say galvanometer. It's giving you 1 milliampere current. I am taking the numerical problem just to give you clear picture, theory also and numerical also, side by side. So this is the galvanometer which say resistance is let 10 ohm. Let 10 ohm. And 1 milliampere. 1 milliampere means it is say 0.001 ampere. And what is the voltage? V equal to IR. This is say IG. IG means the current passing through the galvanometer is 1 milliampere only, that is 0.001 ampere. And the resistance here is because of this galvanometer coil is 10 ohm. So what is the VG? VG means voltage across this galvanometer, that is I into R. So it means 0.01 volts. It means if we 1 milliampere current is flowing through the galvanometer and the voltage across this galvanometer is 0.01, it will give you the full scale deflection. You are getting? A 1 milliampere current is passing through this galvanometer coil, or 0.01 only volt is appearing across this coil of this galvanometer. Full scale deflection we are getting. Got this point? Full scale deflection. Got now? समझ में आ गया? Full scale deflection. Mind it. Again repeating. Full scale deflection by this galvanometer, galvanometer current and this voltmeter. It is not voltmeter but 0.01 volt across this and 1 milliampere current. This is the current and voltage for full scale deflection. Now we are interested to convert this galvanometer, the same galvanometer, into the ammeter of range 0 to 10 ampere. Got it now? It is 1 crore times. So here, this is the total current I is now 10 ampere. And this is very thick wire here. It is called shunt. The very small resistance, very thick wire connected in parallel to the galvanometer. It is called shunt. And the shunt resistance, let us say capital S is the shunt resistance. What is required? Reason behind here is, suppose there is a current 1 milliampere current is flowing through this galvanometer, and now it is flowing 10 ampere current. So rest amount of the current passing through the shunt, and only 1 milliampere current is passing through this coil. Got this point or not? Anybody? Suppose I am taking the example of, say, one student, say girl student, and the coaching class, say suppose, Ellen, example only. So she is going to attend only 1 milliampere current, means very simply she is going and coming out. No problem, simple case. Suppose they are calling in night, they will never call. Then problem is there. She can't go alone. Parent will definitely not allow. So what will happen? Father must go with her. So all the extra thing passing through the son, helping device like father support, and only she has to attend the class. And rest, everything, every problem, father will face. So this way, here any problem comes, he will take care. Now she will simply study. Here it is thick wire, conducting wire, resistance is very less. Very thick means resistance is less. So all the extra current must pass through the shunt. And only this much current is passing through the galvanometer. So 1 ampere current is still responsible for the deflection. And rest, every current, rest amount current means 10 ampere minus 0.001 ampere means what? Here I minus Ig is the current passing through the shunt. So numerically 10 minus 0.001 is what? 9.999 ampere current passing through the shunt, and only 0.001 ampere current passing through the galvanometer coil. This way galvanometer is safe. Now because of father, she is always safe. Feel happy. Got now? The similar example here, the same thing. Extra current must pass through 9.99. Suppose we are measuring the 50 ampere current with the same galvanometer. It means now 49.999 ampere current. We are measuring the same galvanometer 100 ampere current, so 99.999 ampere current passing through this shunt. It means shunt, you can say it is a protective device, like our respected father. Now got it now? Here 1 milliampere current is passing through the galvanometer, and only 1 milliampere current. If it is more than galvanometer is very sensitive, it will burn out. We have to measure the large amount of current. At the same time, we have to protect it. Just ma'am, 5 minutes please. We have to protect it. It means here, if these two things are in parallel means voltage is same. So V is equal to IR. Here you can say I minus Ig multiplied by the resistance is equal to IR. Similarly, here also Ig into G, numerical value where S can be written as Ig into G upon I minus Ig. Ig means here 0.001 into G means 10 upon I minus Ig 9.999. It is roughly 0.001001 ohms resistance. It is very, very small resistance. So means it is very thick wire and not any wire calculated. Got it now? So this accuracy must not lost. Now what happens here? We connect the shunt resistance parallel. Now this same galvanometer which is measuring maximum 1 milliampere current, now it is able to measure 10 ampere current rather than 1 milliampere current with accuracy. And mind it, here also we are getting the maximum deflection, full scale deflection with 10 ampere current. So it is calibrated. Actually 1 milliampere current is passing through the galvanometer, but we are measuring the 10 ampere current. So this way we can convert galvanometer to any range of, mind it, any range of ammeter by using suitable shunt, suitable value of shunt. Got it? As desired. We want to discuss this voltmeter, but time is over already.